Date?
Being this is 5:15, I'd like to call the Park and Rec meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any changes to the agenda?
No.
I look for a motion to adopt the agenda. Second made by John, or by Bernie,
Second.
second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Motion carried. Opposed? Motion carried. Public input. I think you guys are all for the foundation, correct?
Yep, all of us.
Okay, okay. Then there's no public input. Ginger, you wanna?
Sure, I can start you off. So I have invited the Hatton Stadium Foundation again, for this continuation on this conversation about the historical registry designation. We met last week on the 2nd, and just because it's an overall park conversation now instead of the stadium, we should all be involved in this conversation. So I'm gonna invite Mike up to kind of have that conversation. Mike's the president of the Hatton Stadium Foundation.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate a lot of support from our members. We've been at this for, I don't know, 14 years, I believe. And I just wanted to thank the City of New London and the Park Committee for all the support through the years. I mean, it's really worked out well. It's been a good marriage between us, trying to raise some funds to support the renovation. And the city has always been very supportive with us, so we appreciate that. And just another little regarding the stadium seating, we understand you guys have so many different things to support with the Park and Rec, and we kind of focus on the stadium itself. And for you guys to support that seating project is pretty incredible. It was kind of a surprise to us. It's a pretty expensive adventure here. So we appreciate your support on that. It's a lot of money, and it didn't go unnoticed. So hopefully that gets accomplished. Regarding the National Register program, one of our members put together a nice paragraph here on kind of what our request is, or, just a thought. The Hatton Stadium Foundation supports pursuing a state and national register of historic places nomination for Hatton Park, with Hatton Stadium being a contributing building. Assuming that the initial National Register questionnaire is accepted, which we will be putting together. One of our members will be doing that, and the project is deemed eligible. We recognize that a historic preservation consultant will need to be hired to craft and submit the nomination to the State Historic Preservation Office. Since our mission is focused on the preservation and care of Hatton Stadium, we would like to ask for a partnership with the city to fund a historic preservation consultant. As the project has grown to encompass the entire park, we feel that a not to exceed amount of $7,500 would cover the cost associated with the nomination. The foundation is willing to contribute half of the cost if the city will partner with us for the other half. In order to expedite the process, we are willing to pay the entire amount in 2023 if the city will reimburse the foundation for their share in somewhere in 2024. This partnership recognizes the foundation's continued commitment to Hatton Stadium while supporting the city's desire to preserve the entire Hatton Park. So that's, I guess, what we're looking at. kind of seems like a no-brainer to pursue this, and there will be some cost to fill that application out. But I think we have a gem in this city. I mean, and we're doing a lot of work to improve it. And Hatton Park in general is, just an amazing, we kind of take it for granted. And this National Register would put us on the map and just be a really nice thing for the city, just kind of put us on the map. But yeah, so that's all we got.
Anybody have any questions, Jim?
I was just kind of curious, what does that entail, the consultant? What are they going to be doing?
Well, we're doing a little research as far as who to get. They're basically like a grant writer, or it's pretty detailed, I believe. The initial application to see if we're eligible is a little less intensive, but that we're going to do. And then if we are accepted, then we will have to hire a consultant to do the legwork for that. And that's where the costs come in. And
Details about the historic value of each piece, making sure that each piece is, documented appropriately. I don't know if Christine can go into any more detail on that portion.
Sure. So basically a National Register nomination, you end up with anywhere between a 75 and 100-page document that is meticulously researched. So, not only doing newspaper research, but also going through, files that Ginger may have here at City Hall, files that we have at the museum, things like that. So it's just a lot of legwork and a lot of research. Now, we have a lot of that at the museum already, but there's got to be a lot more involved. And then there's certain ways that you write up the nomination and certain ways. So basically think of it like someone who is writing their master's thesis or a PhD, dissertation. It's that kind of thing. You have to footnote stuff. You have to, do citations and all of that. So it's just a lot of that kind of technical work as well. And I mean, a perfect example would be Thurn Farm, who is going after theirs right now. They've tried twice to get it. They finally have gone with a company who is actually writing it for them. So, it's just kind of that kind of intensity.
And a lot of that information are things that none of, you don't see. And I wouldn't go into the papers and, look at the old files and it'll all be compiled into one document for us, which would be really, well, just for me, really interesting. But that would also be open to the public, for them to look at too, which I think Hatton Park is worth that. But it's my personal opinion.
We've been working on the Hatton wall, tossing this
Right.
around for a number of years, how we're going to fix the wall up. So,
So we've seen the interest, right?
right.
I mean, just that conversation alone,
But
brought
we've been
forward a
starting to
lot of
put, we've been
people.
starting to put money aside for the repair of the wall. So
Yep.
that's just part of the whole thing.
Small
I don't
piece.
know if we can act on that right tonight, can we? Because it's not on the agenda.
Well, it's on the agenda.
Yeah.
The financing of it, my personal recommendation would be to try to fund it in the 2023 budget, then commit ourselves down the road for something. I mean, this isn't crazy of amounts. So I'd rather see us, talk to Judy first, see about how we can fund this, bring it back to the board for a official recommendation. Hey, this is the cost. This is where we would recommend to fund it for this year. And kind of go from there.
I think if I had nod from everybody around here, I don't think you're going to have anybody against this. I mean, it's kind of like you said, a no brainer.
But I think the financial piece would be your official commitment to go through the process
Sure.
of applying for this registry.
And that's gonna help us with our repairing of the wall, if I'm not
Possibly.
mistaken, if it's a 50-50. So I think it's,
And all the other buildings, you have to remember, we have the, we have,
there.
yeah,
yep.
yeah.
It'll include the Kunkel building and the shelter area.
We make sure the old park shop.
That's what I was just thinking.
The shed?
Hopefully not the old park shop.
gonna get tore down.
That's okay, Christine not contributing.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody? Go ahead.
Well, really, part of what our goal is to be able to start, a construction project here about August 1st. That's the end of the baseball season for the stadium. And we would like to be able to start refurbishing those seats and have it done. Construction season is still available to do it.
Yep.
Um,
And this won't affect that at all.
Yeah,
So,
I know it won't, but
yeah.
to get an agreement in place, I would like to make a motion that we go ahead and accept the Hatton Stadium's plan to go ahead and pay for it for now and get reimbursed at some later time.
That's the motion. I was wondering whether we can make it at this meeting or not.
Right.
It's on the agenda. You can make a
We
motion
could
on
make,
that.
we could make a motion that, yeah, if that's,
So
I'm
that
looking
is a
for a
motion on
motion.
the floor. I would. Personal preference would be to figure out where the funding is coming from first, chicken and the egg, before you go forward, but you made a motion. So if there's a second, then you proceed with that.
Jim made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion. But I'd like to note when it does come to, it's not like we're going out for bids,
Right.
but when it comes to going out for bids, I would like whoever's soliciting them bids to be very upfront and actually broadcast the fact that New London is in a rare opportunity because we have our newspapers digitized. There's only a couple cities in the state that the State Historical Society, and thank the Lord, the library and the museum partnered with them to digitize as a pilot project, all of the papers going back to the 1860s.
Oh, really?
And if you go home tonight and you bring up the website, which is on the city's link or the library's link, go on the Rescarta website and type in Hatton Park,
Mhm.
and you will get into a wormhole that takes 40 hours just to read the first couple years of the project. And I've got a folder that thick of the stuff. So who's ever writing that thesis or preparing that document is going to have so much more at their fingertips than versus someplace where they have to pay somebody by the hour to go sit and go through microfiche. They will have it all at their fingertips and a search vehicle within that website. So
You have some reading to do
when
tonight.
that
You have some reading.
when
to
that
do
bid
tonight.
goes out, I would hate to see us paying somebody that has that extra resource to them, dinging us for 15, 16, $20,000 when we're kind of unique in that we have that digital resource of all of those archive records
Mhm.
digitized with a simple search. So, I don't think we're gonna get hit with some astronomical bill. I can agree with Chad a little bit, we gotta check with
Right,
the checkbook holder, but
right.
in order to make that process go on, I don't have a problem seconding Bill's motion at this point and say, I don't think we're gonna get on the hook for a big expensive bill. But I just want it to be known that when we go out for bids, that is a big game changer, that they have that data available to them. It's not like they gotta go out and catch all these sharks in the ocean to try to start from square one. The sharks have been caught. And it's all data recorded for 150 years. They don't have to go through page through crumbly paper. So that's my 2 cents on it.
And as far as the cost is at a max of 7,500 to do that research and write that application. So, and that'd be half, we would cover the other half. So, you know, it's kind of, the request was just as high as 7,500. And we're doing a little research and getting information on people that do it and possibly give us a cost, where they could give us an estimate of what it would cost based on the scope of the Hatton Park
Yep. Well,
on
let,
the register.
certainly let them know that we have a resource here in town that a lot of people, it's underappreciated.
Yep.
That digitized
Sure.
archive.
I'll make note of that. Thank you.
Any more discussion on it?
I don't necessarily see the need to jump forward and jump the gun before we know what the actual costs are and before we talk to our financial lady. That's my only reservation. I mean, I'm on board with the program and all of that. I just don't see the need to put the cart before the horse right now. That's my 2 cents.
And I'll just add that this is a financial commitment, so this will go to council, because the
Mhm.
committee can't really have the authority to debt the city for future, costs. So this would have to go to council as a financial recommendation. Then the council would have to determine to set themselves up for a reimbursement in next year's budget. They need to make that decision moving forward. So this isn't something the committee would
Understandable. Yeah.
approve. It would be a recommendation to council for the financial commitment.
I mean, as long as we're all on board, I don't think anybody's going to deny it, that it's a good idea.
But the council needs to make the decision that they're committing themselves for something for
Correct.
next year's budget.
So Bill, would you have a problem holding back on that motion or rescinding it until the next month? Would delaying this a month put us back at all, or,
Jim, sorry, Jim.
yeah, Jim?
Yeah.
I mean, I seconded it and I'm prepared to see it go to a vote, but if the mayor and Chad would rather wait and talk with Judy, I don't have a problem with that either, I guess. Is there a timeline? Is like, if we don't act,
Not really. I think we're just looking at getting the ball in motion and start the process. And that's why we stated, that we would foot that bill and sometime in 2024, get reimbursed for half of that cost. So that was the reasoning there, just to get the ball rolling. We would cover the cost. And if we had half of that cost covered by Park and Rec sometime in 2024, I guess that's what we're seeking. So. yeah.
So, and with,
So that-
with that said, it looks like everybody's pretty much on board with it and just reserving the right to do our due diligence and find out where our funding is
Sure.
going to come from, where the checkbook looks like. And I mean, we're pushing it off a month. You're asking for the money in a year and a half, a year.
Any more discussion?
so our issue at hand is there's a motion on the floor with a
Right.
second. So I don't think I can rescind a second. But.
I
So
think it has to come from the
Robert's
person
Robert's rules would state that.
One that made the
You can
motion.
take back his second.
I really don't see a problem with us committing this money. I mean, it's half of 7,500.
I don't
So
either.
3,750 or
2
whatever.
years.
We got
Right.
2023, 2024. I mean, we got, it's really not a huge amount. So I guess I would go forward with this commitment. I mean, it's not like we have to write the check tomorrow.
And I mean, to your point, I agree. I mean, I think we can get it in this year's budget somewhere. It's just a matter of finding out where we're gonna. We have capital project money that we have designated in the
Undesignated.
account yet.
Yeah.
We can find a spot. It's just a matter of coming up where that's coming from first. So
Right.
You can always go through with the vote too, whether it passes or it fails.
well, and
That's
hypothetically, again, go to council. We could do our due diligence before the council meeting.
Mhm.
And if this goes to the council floor, we can add in, hey, we're recommending to take it from here. Council can vote on that.
Mhm.
Go from there.
I'd like to vote on it.
Okay.
Like, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Again, Mike, that'll go to council for official
Yeah.
action, but yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
We appreciate yours. Thank you guys for all coming.
Hey, Ginger, consider the agreement with Silver Slippers or Silver and Fit?
Sure.
Silver Slippers, Silver and Fit.
Yeah, so we were actually contacted by a couple senior citizens that are retired teachers that have been dropped by WAEA Insurance asking about this program. Consequently, they must have been talking with their insurance providers, and American Specialty Health Fitness Incorporated, their representative contacted us and said, hey, I heard you have a facility that might want to use us. So Jim Thorpe and I met with their representative, and we were able to work out where we could have a matching Silver Sneakers rate of $3.25 per use. It is with a maximum of 8 uses per month, which I believe Silver Sneakers right now is 10. We don't see many members maxing out at 10. So I think this is a great program. I actually personally worked at the pool today, and almost all of the members that came through were utilizing programs like this where they can use the facility for free and we're getting paid by their insurance companies. So it's a really nice service to provide. I'm going to be meeting with Keith Steckbauer on next week, Tuesday morning, to just go over the agreement itself, just to make sure that everything's straight with that. I guess I don't really have anything. If you guys have any questions for me.
And my United Health plan has got free membership for Silver Slippers.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of them that do.
Yeah. Yeah. The list of
ARPS.
providers is very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more discussion on it? This is just a discussion item anyway for tonight.
I would like to have a motion, to agree, to consider the agreement for pending approval with the city attorney.
I'll second
For
that.
that- I would look for that motion.
I need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make that motion to consider that agreement
And
Pending.
then Jim, then you can
Second.
second
Yep.
it. Yeah.
pending the talking to Stackbauer. Yeah.
Okay.
Don
Thank you.
made the motion to second. Jim,
Yes.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Bob,
carried.
we got Steve and Belinda, just a roll call vote on Zoom, so.
Aye.
Steve
Aye.
And Belinda, thank you. I didn't catch you the last one, so
Yeah. Do we need to go back and?
I'm assuming Steve and Belinda, you guys were ayes for the last vote as well.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Sounds like they're together someplace.
Well,
They're logged in separately, so.
Okay, Ginger, you want to take the festival food?
Sure. So the Festival of Foods wants us to once again request full sponsorship of the 4th of July fireworks. They're providing $15,000. I did have a brief conversation with the representative based off of the last year's event. She is requesting that we do a rain event, and to consider them, they will have somebody on site and the fireworks provider as well about canceling or rescheduling. So they would have liked to see a reschedule last year, which is fine. But That was just a little stipulation that they wanted to kind of throw into the contract, as well as having a say in that cancellation process. So it's fine with me. I don't.
Any discussion on it? I look for a motion to accept the donation from Festival Foods for the 4th of July fireworks.
I'll make that motion.
Ernie made the motion.
Second.
John seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hi. Thank you.
Director's report.
I'm just gonna mention, I want to mention for sure, Patrick, sorry, I don't have votes going on my phone. I do want to highlight Patrick Guyette completing his 9 years on March 22nd. The other stuff you guys can read through quick when you have time. But I know that Bob wanted me to touch base a little bit on a project that I've been working on with the overflow parking lot. I have some things out to McMahon about that, and I have not heard back from them. But it's kind of snowballed into, oh, can you bring that? Can you move my screens around?
Where's that other
I
document?
should have left it open. It's in the complete file for the meeting.
I'll find it.
Yeah. So as I was researching that and looking through the grant process with McMahon, I was contacted by somebody from Wapaka County Greenways Commission that suggested that we also apply for the Wapaka Greenways Commission grant, connecting some of our downtown trails to Hatton Park. When they mentioned that, it sparked a conversation with the Safe Routes to School group. Who's also brought up this conversation of connecting the trail system that runs along where we had talked about doing the sculpture trail to Hatton Park. That trail, especially from the waters to Johnny's, is in pretty poor condition and is going to need to be resurfaced eventually. So finding, and I sent this all to McMahon because they're the ones that, you know, would do this, some of this work for us. Connecting, just going through this. So the overflow parking lot and boat launch, we talked about that. Looking through that, we know that the Land and Water Conservation Fund through the DNR that's a 50-50 grant that would be applicable for that with the boat launch fund. The dock system would be included in that grant process and the boat launch fund. Then the trail renovation, and this is all tied together because the DOT and the Safe Routes to School program highlights this trail as off-road transportation, which the DOT is very fond of. And they would potentially be able to help fund the development of the resurfacing of that trail and then development of the trail from across the street, the south side of X. So where the parking, yeah, thank you. And this is the property that was highlighted by the Safe Routes to School that they would really like to see us develop. And it would run from, so the south side of X from our driveway to the back road of Hatton Park, which is kind of already a trail, but it's not developed. People use it. I use it all the time.
Lots of people. use
And
it.
And we do have complaints if the grass isn't grown or grass isn't mowed, it gets a little, like if it's 2 or 3 inches tall. We have people that complain and say, oh, we walk that all the time, but you gotta mow the lawn. So if it was a nice trail, whether it be wood chip or pea gravel kind of situation like out at the Newton Blackmore, I think that would be a great addition to our trail system. And a student could walk from wherever they live downtown on that trail system through Hatton Park to either Parkview School or the high school without, crossing many, yeah. And then like Bob was stating, going all the way down Washington Street and connecting back up, it would connect our trail system, which the Wapaka County did their corp plan 2 years ago. And it was included that the Sturgeon Trail was actually included, which this is impossible, I think, but they were talking about connecting the Highway X Sturgeon Trail with the Hatton Park Trail. So it would also be, they would be a contributing partner with that too. Just, a letter of interest with those grants. So it's snowballed, but I think it's a funding opportunity that we have with the system. So
Chad, I took a ride down there the other day. Can you blow that back up again?
where,
It's not showing outside.
oh, because it's the cities.
I can't go that far.
Can you blow up the trail, like right across from Bolt Landing?
Yep.
That section where that culvert goes under the road there.
Mhm.
Yep, that's pretty tight for footage
Is it? Oh, yeah, yeah.
where, I mean, if you got a walking trail there of any kind, you're gonna have to have some kind of fence or something there.
Yep.
Or there might be something to span across that area.
Yep, it just something I looked at because I knew this was in thought, and I thought, I'll take a ride down there and take a peek, and
Having that truck and trailer parked right there was a perfect example of how tight it can be. Yeah.
it's really not that much.
Yep.
You probably have to put up no parking signs too.
Well, hopefully the trail, it
Right
would
there,
be in
yep.
that green space. Yeah, so maybe just like a footbridge of some kind could go
That'd
there.
actually look kind of neat too.
Yeah, maybe. Yep.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's ways to do it. I just wanted
Yeah.
to say that it was something that I thought of.
I don't want to impede parking on that still because I know that people, we're
Well,
trying to alleviate parking
That's why we're
there
putting in that
with
other
the
parking lot.
parking lot.
Hopefully
Yeah,
that'll Take that away, yeah.
You got a
yeah,
lot of room in here. You got a lot of real estate
yep.
Yep.
off the side.
A lot more than I thought when I was talking with the Safe Routes to School in person before. When she brought it up, I'm like, that's not possible. And then I went down there, I'm like, oh yeah, that would be doable.
Is any of that wetlands?
There's quite a bit of land there that we mow and that's nice green space.
The wettest area might be along the wall.
Yep.
When you start heading south from X, heading into the park, that would be the wettest of the whole area. And that's not real bad. That stretch right there, that might be the wettest.
Would there be any trees that would be in the way that might have to be removed? It's pretty clear, I think.
No, it's very clear. I mean, like I said, people are already walking it as a trail right now.
I think utilities took a lot of the trees out of there.
Yeah,
I think utility did that a couple of years ago.
Now, I don't know just where, on the west side, when you get into Hatton Park, utilities has
yeah,
A lot
right
of-
there.
power lines going through there.
They
Mhm.
run right along the wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is from 2009, so this could be different looking than what it is today.
Mhm. So Bob just wanted me to fill you in on what I've been kind of looking at and working on with hopes to hear from McMahon. I know that it's gonna be a big project for them, to put together a packet for any preliminary costs or anything like that, so.
I don't know how many times I've been sitting down there, Brian Johns, and somebody will go walking by and say, geez, it's too bad this trail ends right here. And I said, well, it really doesn't. Just go onto the park and cut across. I mean, I'm telling, it's not a trail, but I'm telling, I don't know how many times I've had somebody come along and ask me that. So I think it's a great addition. And
And
the
I-
safe walk to
yeah.
school is another plus for it
Yep.
too. They've been looking for a safe walk to school for how many years?
Yes,
So I
yeah,
think this
that's
is a
always.
great idea.
Back when we were raising money for the Sturgeon Trail, at the end of every fundraiser for 10 years, we'd say, if one of us wins the lottery someday, we swear that trail is going to connect to New London.
Oh, I don't, it would be
Yeah.
a million,
You
that'd
know.
be like a Powerball.
And I also said that the Newton Blackmore Trail would, private property.
There's so much
So
and
there's where there's a will, there's a way. And
it's listed in the Wapaka County Comprehensive Plan. That's their plan, which I have no idea.
our job is to dream for the next generation, not necessarily ourselves, but
Yeah, true,
so.
very
yeah,
true.
It's good stuff, Ginger. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody, any committee members got anything?
Any feedback on it? Just gonna,
Future agenda items? I guess we kind of touched on a few of them already.
Yeah, I'll talk to Judy about the funding for the Hatton Stadium
Okay.
project or the
We can have that
historical
for
registry.
You're saying for council, we could have that for council meeting. then.
We'll add that piece of information for the council consideration, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Anybody else here got anything any ideas or
Um,
from school?
I just think it's a great idea for the safe walks to school. There's so many kids trying to get through there. And I know that high schoolers even try to get there because with our tennis practices, we always had to get through there. And it's
Mhm.
just so hard because every kid was trying to cross and
Yeah,
it was just like, oh my gosh, this is an accident waiting to happen.
right, right.
But
Yeah, and making it bike and foot friendly would be super helpful.
yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
And we got our wood chipper we're gonna have, so we should have a lot of wood chips if we want to put the wood
Yeah.
chips on there for nothing. Then we get rid of, we don't have to haul them somewhere. That's meeting date.
Okay, so our meeting next month is scheduled to be on election night. Last night, I believe you guys made a
Yeah.
decision about having your public works meeting on the tenth.
Yeah, they were gonna, so we had moved to Monday then. Correct? You
Well,
were going to Wednesday, right? Yeah,
We're going to the following week. We're going.
Yeah, we're going to.
the
Monday the
following
10th.
week. Okay.
so we could do the following week, the 11th, if you'd like.
Sure. Do we want to do that then?
Okay.
Go to the 11th and not just a week later? What he sounds to me.
Yeah,
And-
Robert is gone that week, so we've moved
Can't do it 2 in 1 night.
Public Works to
It's
the,
already got 2 meetings that Monday night.
And it was mentioned to me today that our meetings used to be at 5:30. Is there a reason that we moved to 5:15?
We used to be at 4:30.
4:30.
we used to be at 4:30 to
Was 4:30?
4:45.
Not 5:30.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've always been 5:15.
Yep.
Okay,
Well,
They used to be 4:30 and then last year, the year before,
A year or so ago.
we contemplated moving it to 5:30. Met in the middle at 5:15 to see if we could get more involvement through the public a little bit later.
okay. Yes, that was mentioned today, so I thought I'd bring it up.
actually, I think we did say 5:30. And then we did that for a couple months and then we had a combined meeting of
Oh.
uh,
right.
Public Works and Parks. And because there's 2 meetings, we said, okay, well, we'll do 5:15. And then whoever makes the agendas up just looks at the last month's agenda, keeps it. But I, without, it's, we're all time bound anyway, but
Yeah.
it's
It used
not
to
a
be
big deal.
4:30 and we had that reorganizational meeting and then there was 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:15, 5:30, 7 o'clock. I mean, if you guys remember that whole conversation and we zeroed in on 5:15.
And maybe you're right. Maybe that's where it was 5:30 and everybody went flatline on the 5:50. Maybe
Well, but I think to your point, when we did the double meetings, then we would kick those back
Yeah.
half an hour, 45 minutes, just because you got two meetings a night, just when you had the double meetings.
Huh?
We should. I vote for that.
But no, I mean, we started
can't do
5:15
that.
when we changed it.
Why?
That was 5:15.
5:15. Because I just remember
All the farmers. and
every
stuff.
time you change something, then people get thrown off.
Well, I think they should have
The
them
one
at
week,
5:30,
you know,
because you got people that work,
Couple committee
up until
members even
5
came in
o'clock.
at 5:30, so.
and by the time they do their
thinking
paperwork at
That's the
work,
time. so.
they got a hard time getting here by 5:15.
Mhm.
As the council gets younger, we may have to look at that again. 15 minutes is a lot when you're driving from out of town working.
Yeah, we gotta have the
I
council.
know it's
meeting at
unpopular,
6.
but. What's that?
So we gotta have the council meeting at 6.
Yeah.
Well, seeing we don't have anything else to discuss, I guess I might have a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, Bob's gotta get home, and go to bed.
Motion by John for adjourn. Second.
Yeah.
Bernie, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Linda?
Bye. Thank you, guys.